All right, very warm welcome everybody to another Meaningful Monday. My goodness, I could not actually believe I was saying May on the video this morning to inform you all. Seems so quick the way the year has begun, and at the same time, in some degree, it seems so long, like slow. But either way, I'm just glad that we're all here. What I'm going to do, just for the sake of a good sound quality, I'm going to ask you to just mute your own microphones, but unmute them at any time when you want to speak, just to keep the sound crisp on the recording. And then, of course, use the chat box as much as you want as we go along. So, this subject that I chose for tonight honestly came through intuition. I really was thinking about a time in my life and where I really struggled and how I turned that around and try to work out how I caused the struggle in the first place. And I know that sounds a bit strange sometimes to say how I caused the struggle, because if we ask ourselves, do you want to cause yourself struggles? We're going to say no. Who would want to cause themselves their own struggle? The truth is, we do actually, whether it's conscious or subconscious, but we'll get into that, getting into the content for tonight. So, just for all the new people, I'd like to say very warm welcome. If it's your first time, the Meaningful Monday is the first Monday of every month, free webinar, just to raise awareness exactly how we create our own reality and just to have more and more awareness. The more awareness we have, the better we are masters of our own lives. And we really do have the power to create our own life, design it as we wish. And with more awareness and more practice and more repetition, we actually start to hone the skill, and our life actually improves and becomes better and better over time. So, to the people who've been on Meaningful Monday before, very warm welcome back. And to the loyalists who always join Meaningful Monday, a big hug and big thank you for always being back here and joining me. I just love it when you join, and I love your friendly faces, and just to know that we are together, even if it's just for an hour and a bit. So I want to make tonight the most valuable for you. So I chose this subject called Secrets Within, Manifest Without. And it really, what I'm going to share with you is based on one of my absolute best books of all time, which is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, if you can see me on the video here, just look how thin this book is. And if I just went like this, I just want to prove to you that this book is literally a few pages and it's the end. It's not actually a book, it's an essay. It is so short. It takes about 35 minutes to read, 40 if you're slow like me in reading, 35 minutes to read. And it's probably one of the books that you could honestly and truly study for an entire lifetime. I know certain people like Bob Proctor. He reads certain books every day of his life, even if it's one page. And this is one of them. This one, Think and Grow Rich and the Science of Getting Rich. So I want to share some thoughts out of this. But this idea of secrets within, manifest without. There have been times in my life, so put in the chat box if this is you. Have you ever had a time in your life where your life is just in the worst place it could possibly be, and you're struggling so much you actually don't, well, this was me, didn't share it with anyone except maybe one person at the most, not even more than that. But most of what you were carrying inside you were carrying in your own head, in your own heart, and trying to, just get through another day and be the best you can and show up the best you can. Have you ever been in a place like that where this that's going on is really all inside you? And if people say, how are you? You just say, not bad, or doing okay, thanks, or whatever it is. But you never really express everything that's going on inside. And that's what I call your secrets. Now, they're not necessarily secret things like, oh, we're all, cloak and daggers, but they're secrets in the sense that we're not sharing with everyone openly. Hey, I'm really going through a difficult time. Either it's to do with a relationship, or it's to do with your health, something's wrong, or it's to do with money. Money is a really good one. There'd been a time in my life where I made some poor decisions, and the money in my bank account was the lowest it had ever been. And it wasn't like I was in my 20s, it was later when I'd already established a level of success. And through some poor decisions, my bank account went lower and lower. And the worry of where's this going and how did I create this, and the stress of it was something that I kept inside. And that's what I call a Dima secret thought. So if anyone's ever been there, I see Ben's written, I've been there. Just put a Y in the chat box if that's ever you, because it's these secret thoughts that we really hold inside and don't share, that we think are not affecting our lives. And we think, as long as I'm being positive and speaking positively and, smiling, saying the right things when people are speaking to me, everything's going to slowly come right. But what you find is things don't come right, and they actually get progressively worse. So I've got another a yes or two more here. And why do they get progressively worse? It's really and truly this, it's no fault of our own, but this kind of lack of awareness that secret thoughts will manifest in the outside world, even if we hide them in the furthest corner of our mind. If we squash them somewhere far away where we ourselves don't even want to face them, these things have some way of really reflecting themselves in our outside circumstances. And the more they bother us, the worse the situation becomes. So when I look back on my life, I found I got to a place when I was in a serious place of struggle. I've actually got something on my wall here. I might just pull it off and show you. When I was going through the worst time ever, I've still kept this thing. I took a whole lot of images of a lion, and I've just got lion quotes, and I stuck these lion quotes all over this piece of paper, and it says things like, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. That's from Napoleon Hill. Or things like, um, the struggle you're in today is helping you develop the strength you need for tomorrow. Just trying to find some positivity in the time of struggle. Or like, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And I kept reminding myself that if I'm not so challenged that my back is up against a wall, then maybe I wouldn't actually change. And it was change that was required to fix the situation. And I kept looking for change in the outside world. I kept looking for change, whether it's in the finances or change in the relationship or change in your health or whatever it may be in the work. I looked for change without, whereas actually, when your back is so up against the wall and you're in a very difficult corner and there's nothing that you can do except change yourself, that's really the reason that this is happening. And I know it sounds awful, but it says, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So someone wrote here, yeah, big time, being there, work-wise, relationship, financial, all of the above. Thank you, Jay, for being so open. And Donna, yes, like digging a hole. That's right, like digging a hole. So I just thought, talking about secrets within, manifest without, is such an awareness that we need to have, and how we watch, alter, and control our thoughts. And those words come from James Allen. I never came up with such a beautiful poetic way of phrasing that. But he says, watch your thoughts, control them, and alter them. Because if we think of the secret fear or the worry that's holding us, and we ruminate on it, so we wake up in the morning and it's in our head, we are not controlling it. We might be, aware of it because we feel awful. So feelings is your best barometer of where you are. And if we don't stop it and control it and alter it, so get rid of the thought and change it to something else, then we actually just giving this more energy and more momentum and more creative power. And this is exactly how it manifests without. And it seems to get worse. So what happens is we start thinking, hey, it's getting worse. And as we think it over and over again, it's getting worse, we're creating a new belief. So belief is nothing more than repeated thoughts that you have with a lot of emotion around it. And the more you think that and worry about that, the more the circumstances start to actually prove you are right. They say, you first create your beliefs and then you prove them back to yourself. And there was no other way to turn the situation around. And I've been there more than once. Once was 11 years ago, the worst place of my life. And I had to turn it around. And it took a long time. It never took 5 days or 5 weeks or 5 months. It took a long time. 18 months of struggle. Okay, at that stage, I found the silver method. And the silver method helped me with this watch, alter, and control that I'm talking about, or creating a new belief, which is, and I said, beliefs are something that we create and then we prove them back to ourselves. I had something. So I'm hoping what I'm sharing with you tonight will help you. If you're a silver graduate, many of you are, here, you will know you've got tools and it's really much easier for you. I use Mirror of the Mind and I use it all the time. And I practice gratitude and I turn it around. But if you haven't done the Silver Method, you do need to have, by the way, that's a 4-day personal development program that I teach, like dynamic meditation to reprogram the mind. But if you haven't done the Silver Method, you do need something to help slowly move your thoughts from cog to cog and reshift them and realign them to prevent you slipping back into your old thinking. Because as long as you slip back into your old thinking, it's never going to change for you. So that's why I love the fact that Donna said, yes, it's like digging a hole. So that's why this thing that I printed out helped me. I stuck it in the bathroom. It's now here in the study. But if you need to do that, and there's a whole lot of quotes, I've only read about 2 or 3 out, but it just says here, one is, victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. Of course, we have to refuse to stop who refuses to stop fighting. If we quit and give up, or don't say, I'm going to actually create my own improvement, I'm going to create my own way out of this, we won't. When we sit and wait for circumstances to change, I don't know, it may be luck, I'm not sure, but I would just say I wouldn't really trust that and I wouldn't rely on that, because you might just take too long. But if you can rely on yourself and take 100% responsibility for the situation that you're in, even though it's awful and sometimes it can be a struggle, if we take 100% responsibility, it's not to say we want to beat ourselves up and say, oh, I created this and I'm responsible. No, I'm saying take 100% responsibility in that my thoughts are very powerful. If I repeat them, I'm creating beliefs, and my beliefs are undoubtedly determining my experience. So let me see how I can manage them best. So I'm going to share with you some wonderful insights out of this book in this webinar tonight, which you're absolutely going to love. So the first thing that it says here is, your whole life is a manifestation of the thoughts that go on in your head. I know you probably know this. Many of you know this really, really well. You've known it for many years. There's one thing about knowing something and actually acting differently. Acting differently is a whole other level of self-awareness and application, which can only come from actually emotionalizing, I know that's a funny word, but becoming emotionally involved about the new knowing or about the new idea. So if we said my whole life is a manifestation of the thoughts, well, these negative thoughts are causing my problem situation. How do I change them? Because every time I look at my outside world, it reminds me and reminds me and reminds me of the trouble that I'm in. So how do I stop these negative thoughts? Well, this is what it takes. This is when it says, watch, control, and alter your thoughts. For anyone who is not familiar with the Silver Method, I just want to let someone else in the waiting room there. If you're not familiar with the Silver Method, there's a free meditation called the Long Relax. You can get it off my website. I would recommend, if your life is not in a good place, or it's in a good place but you want it to get even better and you're not actually meditating daily, this 30-minute meditation not only is equivalent to 4 hours of natural sleep for the body and the mind. If you do it daily, you're actually training yourself. And I mean train, like you go to gym and you lift a dumbbell over and over again over a couple of weeks, even 30 days, you'll see a much more defined muscle in your arm, and you'll probably see it taking better shape after 2 months, and certainly after 5 months, you look really pretty good in that arm. Now, if you only did one arm, of course, this will look great and the other one will look really shabby. So this is why whatever we do, we need to practice. So I would encourage you, download the Long Relax and do it, because you repeatedly train yourself to relax consciously from head to toe during this fractional relax. What you're doing is you're creating an ability to control your physiology using your mind alone. So the more you can practice that, the better you can become at managing your mindset for any other area of your life. And the other thing about doing the Long Relax is it puts your body into homeostasis, and healing is accelerated. So if it's a health issue, you will accelerate your healing and you boost the immune system. That will also help you. But then there's so many side effects that are positive. I really the list is so long, but just to mention a few important ones. That feeling of optimism or hope, which is all we're looking for when we're in a time of struggle, honestly comes from doing a daily meditation, something like the long relax. So sometimes that feeling of optimism is lost, and we feel lost. I know I was there. I didn't even know, how to even get to that place. It was really like a dark place. To meditate daily can shift that. It kind of lifts that veil, and just after 5 days, you feel better. After a week, 2 weeks, even better. And after a month, you feel like you kind of got a handle on things, and things are starting to improve, and you can sense a relationship between your thoughts, the way you feel, and improved circumstances in the outside world. Donna says, is it the emotion or thought? Because to me, they're running a race, willful children. So it's both. If you say, is it emotion or thought? Thoughts are triggers, and the minute we think them, we create an emotion. And an emotion is nothing else but a release of chemicals in your body that, yes, and in the brain as well, correct, that change our physiology, and we have this awareness that there's a change and we feel different. And that's what an emotion is. It's a feeling that we become aware of. So, like a change in vibration. So, let's move along. It says here, this is from As a Man Thinketh. The soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and that which it fears. Even though I came out 11 years ago out of that dark place, there were times in the subsequent years, not often, but from time to time, that I slipped really back into a place of struggle. And I can honestly say it was not until I got hold of As a Man Thinketh and studied this book in a mastermind with my mentor, that was a quote like this that's on the screen, that helped me realize that what I thought I could hide, even from myself, was going to manifest in my world. And that was what I thought was what I was secretly harboring inside. So, any of your deep, deep secret thoughts, I wish I wasn't losing money, or I wish I wasn't ruining this relationship, or I wish I wasn't jealous, or I wish I wasn't sick or unhealthy, even though I tell everybody and I don't complain. Whatever we're secretly going on, this is really bad, this is really bad, thoughts like that. It is these very thoughts that are the ones we need to get a hold of and somehow stem and practice this intentionally, and practice it like you're actually embarking on a new course or you're studying a new language, like with that degree of attention every single day. So it really is about not only what we love, but the thing about what we fear. We attract our fears. you know People, there's even in the book this whole thing with um people who are worried, if they're going to get sick in a room of people who are sneezing, for example. In As a Man Thinketh, it says the man who fears disease is the one who gets it, because fear is a very powerful emotion, and fear changes your whole physiology, which is just your vibration. And with the law of attraction, which is nothing more than the law of vibration, it says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So if we are fearful, I hope I don't catch this cold, and that's a thought in the back of your head, that fear is an attractive energy, and we manifest what we fear. So, why it's really important to know about the secrets we harbor within, is because there's only a law of attraction and there's no law of exclusion. So, we can't say, I don't want to get this cold, or I don't want to lose any more money, because I don't want doesn't matter, or I want doesn't matter. It's just the image of that picture in your head. So losing money is a different picture to creating money. And, being unwell is a different picture to being well. So if say, I don't want to be unwell, I don't want to be sick, or I don't want to have pain, the picture is pain. The picture is unwell. So it's that awareness to the tiniest degree of what we are harboring deep inside our thoughts, our hearts, it says here the soul, that we need to become aware of. and manage. And there's no one else who can do that but us. And this is a gift, a God-given gift, that we can choose to think any thought we want, irrespective of appearances. So the question that people always say is, they cancel, cancel. Thank you, Alice. Yes. So if we have a negative thought, you can use the cancel, cancel technique. So for those who don't know the silver method, if you have a negative thought like, oh, this pain is terrible, cancel, cancel. Somehow, some way, I can make myself better and better. Or hopefully, if you don't believe it's easy immediately, just say, hopefully I can get better and better. But just stay positive and speak in terms of what you want. So, hopefully I'll have a better day today. Or, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I'm getting more aware of my thoughts. Any positive talk, but no negative self-talk. So cancel, cancel changes that negative thought and trains you to practice positive ones and just replace them with a positive affirmation after saying cancel, cancel. So it says here, it all begins in your mind. What you give power to has power over you, if you allow it. So if you allow it is the operative word. They say either we manage our emotions or our emotions manage us. If any of you know that feeling of being run by your emotions, it's the worst feeling ever, because you're feeling stressed or anxious or worried, and we just cannot stop that feeling because our emotions control us. Now, the only way to learn to control your emotions is to practice. And that's why I'll go back to the long relax. The long relax might sound like a really strange task for someone to give someone to solve their problems of money, bad relationships, fear, anxiety, depression, whatever it may be. But honestly, the benefits of practicing something like that every day means that if you focus on the instructions of that relax from head to toe, you can stop other thought, even if it's for just 30 minutes a day. And if you can stop that thought, it means you're practicing to manage your thoughts. And the more you practice it, the better you'll become. So over time, you'll get better and better at not allowing negative thoughts to take over you. So it says here, this is from As a Man Thinketh, a man does not come to the almshouse or the jail by the tyranny of fate, circumstance, but by the pathway of groveling thoughts and base desires. So the almshouse is like the poor house, like a charity where you go, we've got no money. So it says a man doesn't come there by accident. He doesn't come there by just fate has taken him and threw him by accident. I don't know how I got here. It must be the tyranny of fate. No, he gets there by the pathway of groveling thoughts. So if you think about the groveling thoughts, if we think about thoughts of what we do, we grovel inside, or we keep thinking, I don't have enough, or I'm poor, or whatever, I'm going to land up in the gutter. People who land up in the gutter honestly have thought their way there. Nobody has ever accidentally got there and got surprised to say, just I don't know how I landed up here. Or exactly the same thing as a man goes to jail. It says, nor does a pure-minded man fall suddenly into crime by stress of any mere external force. There's no way. The criminal thought had long been secretly fostered in the heart. Secretly fostered in the heart. So even if he never speaks about it outside to anyone, it honestly is what is going on inside his mind. And just something else from James Allen says, when it says that the soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, which I said earlier, that which it loves and which it fears, it says it reaches the height of cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its unchastened desires, and circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. Circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. In other words, circumstances are what we get as a result of what we've been holding deep inside, those secret places in our soul, those fears that we have, or those unchastened desires, whatever they are. Circumstance will then reflect itself out in the outside world as to what's really going on within. So when people are struggling, it's the most difficult thing for them to really get the awareness that they are in control and have probably, most likely, and almost definitely caused it to become where it's got to. And when it's really bad, because they're in such a worryful state and an anxious state, they maybe forget or just don't pay attention to the fact that it's them themselves that are creating the circumstance that they're in. And the more they're worrying about it, the more this is being reflected back at them. So the best thing to say to anyone is, if you ask the question, how is life treating you? And whatever you answer when you answer that question is a reflection of your mind. So if life is treating you really well, well done. Pat yourself on the back. It's not luck. It's not good fortune. It's you. It's you managing your thoughts, your gratitude, your positivity, and your managing of your negative thoughts every day that have created it. But if I said to you, how's life treating you? And you said, well, it's really rough. This is a problem. That's difficult, whatever. It's by the same token that our thoughts somehow, some way have created that. So circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. I love this quote. Man is always the master, always, even in his weaker and most abandoned state. This comes directly out of the book. Do I love these words? Because when we are really in a very, very difficult place, where we don't share it with anyone, and it's a secret place deep within, when we're in a place of absolute struggle, we do feel abandoned. We feel like we're the only person out there suffering while the rest of the world is just carrying on. And that feeling of being abandoned is a horrible feeling. But it says, man, he's always the master, even in his most abandoned state. But in his weakness and degradation, he is the foolish master who misgoverns his household. Please put in the chat box, what do you understand by the word household? I put it there in italics. It's in the book in italics. What does it mean? He misgoverns his household. What is his household? It's a metaphor. What is it a metaphor for? Okay, here come some answers. Oops. His mind. Thank you. His thoughts. His mind. Household equals mind. His mind is mind. Your mind. Everybody's got that right. Right. So if you think about this, in his weakness and degradation, he is the foolish master who misgoverns his household. I must tell you, when I read this for the very first time, and I think I did As a Man Thinketh as a Mastermind in 2013, this quote stopped me in my tracks. Because when I read the word misgoverns, I thought, you know what? If my mind was a business and I was the CEO, I'd probably be fired for misgoverning it. And it's absolutely true. It's exactly that awareness and honesty with ourselves that we've allowed our mind to run wild with negative thoughts and worrying thoughts. And this has now caused all the circumstances in the outside world, which now gives us the feeling that we've been abandoned and we're in a different place to everyone else and we're suffering more. But really and truly, it is misgoverning our own household. Jackie wrote, our household is our thoughts. I don't think we should call ourselves foolish, though. I agree. I think what James Allen is saying, he is the foolish master, meaning not owning it or not taking responsibility for it, and probably lacking awareness, not as in he's foolish, but probably lacking awareness that he's the one who's managing the mind and can manage the mind, even though some people say, oh no, I just get all these thoughts in my head. Well, if you can think of a yellow banana and think it 10 times in a row, you can do it 1,000 times in a row, and that's just a yellow banana, which means we can really control any thoughts we want if we want to, just with awareness. And then Donna wrote, the emotions hijack the mind. The emotions hijack the mind, Donna, if we allow it. They can't hijack the mind against your will, because if you, again, stopped in your tracks and used something as silly as a yellow banana, not even a positive thought or something, but just said yellow banana, I'm going to sit and focus on that and hold that thought for as long as I can, even if it's for 60 seconds, the truth is you can do it. So emotions hijack the mind without awareness. That is what James Allen speaks about, misgoverning our household. So if you think about your mind as a household or as a company and you a CEO, if we had to govern it, it means we need to really, again, watch, control, and alter. So men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Thank you. And just to add, Jackie also said kindness, gentleness, and compassion. I agree. We need to be kind to ourselves when we catch ourselves with negative thinking, not beat ourselves up about it. So Jackie's 100% right there, and gentle on ourselves. And then with that compassion and self-compassion, to say, all right, I'm aware. And what am I going to do now? What am I going to do next? What am I going to practice to improve that situation? And the truth is, we can think what we want to think, regardless of appearances. So, regardless of appearances, meaning even if the bank balance is low, we can choose to think thoughts of abundance if we choose to. We can control our thoughts regardless of appearances. If we're not in the best health, we can choose to think thoughts of well-being and health if we choose to. And even in relationships, happier, kinder, forgiving, whatever it is, if we choose to. Now, it's also said that thinking is the hardest work of man. There is no labor that's more hard work than a man controlling his own thoughts, his own feelings, and doing that with intentionality and effort. So I think if anybody wants to watch a phenomenal 30-minute speech, which I think sold over 1 million copies, and it wasn't actually a published piece, was Earl Nightingale. It's on YouTube, called The Stranger's Secret. And in The Stranger's Secret, he says that thinking what we want to think deliberately is the hardest work of man. So that is really true. So when it says here, men do not attract that which they want, I love that. I love that because when we're in a difficult situation, boy, do we know what we want. We sure do. We know we want better. We know we want to feel better. We want to have more money if it's money. We want to be happy if it's a relationship. We know what we want. And then we get frustrated because our situation is not what we want. It's the very opposite. Well, the truth is, we don't actually get what we want. We get which we are. And when it says we get which we are, it's all that we are in terms of our thoughts, our opinions, our perceptions, our beliefs. It says here from the book about men and women, their whims, fantasies, and ambitions are thwarted at every step. Thwarted, so they impeded, they obstructed or opposed. But their inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, be it foul or clean. So their whims, fantasies, and ambitions are thwarted at every step, but their inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, be it foul or clean. So whatever we feed it is what we become. So the thoughts being clean thoughts, positive thoughts, and good thoughts will produce those results. And by the same token, the negative ones will produce those. So just something, there is a mastermind, which I'll share at the end, of As a Man Thinketh, coming up later in the winter months. And one thing that we add into the mastermind, which is not in the book, is this thing called the 7 levels of character. And if you've done the mastermind with me, and I've shared this also in Think and Grow Rich, the 7 levels of character. I just want to share, I can't go through this whole chart, it'll take too long. But there is a teaching on this. But if you just look at this column of the levels, these are not all the levels of character. There are millions of levels of character. These have kind of been bucketed into easy 7 understandable levels, but it shows you from the lowest level of character, the very lowest down here, number 1, is the runaway. That's a person who literally hides from life. They run away from their problems and they avoid them. That's the lowest level. And the second level is the quitter. That's the person who just gives up. And Napoleon Hill says, quitters never win and winners never quit. So a quitter is a character trait. If you know people in your life, and I'm sure you do, that give up, they try, they fail, they give up. They're a quitter. They just say, it's not for me, I've given it a shot. Now, that's never true. If we do not quit and we persist, we will succeed. It's a whole chapter in Think and Grow Rich as well. It's a chapter on persistence, which repeatedly says, if you persist, you will succeed. It might take 1 time, 2 times, 10 times. It might take 10,000 times, Thomas Edison did it 10,000 times, but you will succeed. So quitting is not a circumstance against us and a matter of fate. It's a matter of choice. And you can see here, there's a red line, which is the line of effort. So to move above this line of effort, if anyone is a runaway or a quitter, takes a lot of effort. It's hard work, but we have to practice it. And what hard work is it? Changing the way we think. So when we get above the line of effort, we start actually getting results in our life. We do like create money or good relationships, whatever it is, but it's a frenetic energy, which we waste a lot of energy. Where's my mouse? It's quite frenetic because we wasted a lot on all this worrying that we're doing. So the level 3 is a warrior, a person who is fearful. You're worried about things not working out. You're always worrying. Now, for those of you who know the power of visualization, worrying is a powerful form of visualization. It's full of emotion, and that creates more of the same. So if you've ever been in your life where you've said, I don't know why my situation isn't changing. I don't know why it's been like this for 2 months, 3 months. For me, it was 18 months back in 2010. 18 months of the same, and I couldn't understand. I realize now, looking back in hindsight, I was worrying every single day about my situation. So what was I doing? Creating again, creating more, creating the same. That's what worrying does. If we then lift ourselves through, I don't know, personal development and awareness and practice to a higher level of character, we become the superiorist. This is a person who's now comparing themselves to others all the time. Okay, if they've got better results and they look back and say, okay, I'm better than him. Oh, but I'm not better than that person. So comparison, they say, is the thief of joy. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday and become a better person. Then it says here the line of courage. This is a really good word to use, and you can see this line divides the whole chart completely across, because above the line of courage, and it does take courage, is actually becoming a person. Now in the green levels here, this is more positive, abundant energy. We become a planner. Now, planner is a person who's using the prefrontal cortex of the brain. You have to really use the front of the thinking brain, the brain to work things out. To create a plan takes a lot of thinking, and you can understand why that's so different, because when we're worrying, we're in the fight or flight response, which is the reptilian brain down below. And if our emotions are governing us, like worrying or comparing, we're in the limbic brain and also not using our prefrontal cortex, not even the neocortex. So planner is right up above. It's level 5. It's a much higher level. It's a level of self-discipline here, where we give ourselves a command. I'm going to plan my way out of this, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do A, B, and C. And you actually carry out your own instructions. So you make promises to yourself and you keep them. That's what a planner is. Now, this green line here, it says the line of proof. It could also be labeled the line of faith. And faith is a spiritual energy. Faith, it means that you have belief in something which gives you power and trust that things will be whatever you wish them to be. That's what faith is. So you could have faith in a higher power. I'm a person of faith, so I do have God in my life, and that's my faith. But even if you're agnostic or atheist, you could have faith in your purpose, you could have faith in your plan, you could have faith in yourself. But having faith is actually a state of mind. Some people say, I wish I had faith like that person. Well, you can cultivate it. You say, no, they just have such great faith. I don't have it. No, that's not true. Cultivate it. Faith is a chapter in Think and Grow Rich as well. And it says, faith is a state of mind and can be cultivated. So above the line of faith, we then go into these top levels of 6 and 7, which is a person of love, not attached to things, a very generous and abundant expression of yourself, and the very highest level, unconditional love, which is a joyful soul. And someone right up at that level, a good example would be someone like Jesus, unconditionally loving, no matter if they're friend or foe, and with such a high vibration, changes other people and heals other people, and can create wonderful things. So I just wanted to share that, because it said in the previous page, men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Well, who are we? We're a certain character. There's not only these 7, there are many others. Now, we are a character in every area of our life at a different level. You might be at a different level in your relationship to what you are in your finances, to what you are in your career or your life purpose or your health. So the more we dig deep into this, and you can really study this for a 2-hour lesson on its own, the more we just come to understand ourselves and the responsibility we have in managing our opinions, our thoughts, our values. What do you value? What are your morals? What are your ethics? How do you demonstrate that? What do you practice every day? Do you slip back into old patterns of eye for an eye, or do you actually force yourself to change and practice something new to raise yourself up those levels of character into more of an unconditionally loving type person, more forgiving? So this is where, managing your thoughts and changing is so difficult for the average person. It takes a lot of, internal work. Then here, circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. So that's really interesting, because we often think that our circumstances, will make us who we are and so on. But when we actually realize that we creating our circumstances, and how we are behaving in the face of circumstance is really very telling about the character of person that we are. And also when it says it reveals him to himself, literally means your circumstances are like a mirror. So we can control our thoughts, which means we can control our character. And it's our character, that which we are, which is actually creating our circumstances. So when we look at our circumstances, they reveal who we actually are. To quote in the very first preface of the book, it says, yeah, so men, or women, they themselves are makers of themselves by virtue of the thoughts which they choose and encourage. The mind is the master weaver. So the mind is the master weaver both of the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance. So a weaver is a stitch by stitch, and that's how we create our life, the inner character that we are, and our outer circumstance. And this is really important, because some people think that character or personality, or they're kind of interchangeable, and that's just who I am. And they make excuses when they behave incorrectly and say, well, that's just who I am. I've always been that way. I wish I could change, but that's just who I am. That's not at all true. We are every single thing that goes on through our mind. Thoughts, opinions, beliefs, values, all of that combined is actually our character, and it changes every single day depending on how we choose to think, so we can think better thoughts. So it says the outer world of circumstances shapes itself to the inner world of thought. Sometimes for people this is new, even though we're repeating the same kind of theme, that people think, oh, circumstances happen as how, this was me years ago, how I respond to them is my responsibility. Until 2006, and I saw the movie The Secret, and I realized actually I create the circumstances. They are not something that just happens by fate and I need to know how to respond to them. My responsibility is more than that. My responsibility is to create them intentionally with awareness. So the outer world of circumstances shapes itself to the inner world of thought, and both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors which make for the ultimate good of the individual. So it says whether they are pleasant or unpleasant circumstances, they really are for the ultimate good of the individual. And I was like, how is that for the ultimate good? Well, everything in your life is always, always for your highest good, even if it's tragic, even if it's grief or death of a loved one or divorce or illness or retrenchment, loss, bankruptcy. At the time, it doesn't seem like it. It's an awful situation to be in. But to just know, with hope and faith that everything is also always ultimately for your higher good. So, as the reaper of his own harvest, Man learns both by suffering and bliss. And if I have to look back on my own life, I must be honest and say I've learned more from my hard times than I've learned from my good times. So tough times, pleasant and unpleasant, yes, they are make for the ultimate good of the individual. So this is one of my favorite quotes out of the book As a Man Thinketh, which is this: men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. Wow, what a powerful, powerful quote. And why are men unwilling to improve themselves? We all are. We're all unwilling to change unless we absolutely have to. And the reason is because of our comfort zone. So our comfort zone is something similar to our ego, which is to do with your conditioning or your paradigm. Any one of those names is kind of interchangeable. Basically, it wants to keep you the same. So we don't want to change, but we want our circumstances to change. And as long as we think that we remain bound, like in a prison, I love this quote. It's the one quote that always reminds me that the change that I want in my world, I need to be it and create it and not wrestle against circumstance. So to understand the comfort zone, I just thought I'll put this in. Many of you have seen me teach the stick man. I've taught it in all my bonus videos for As a Man Thinketh or for Think and Grow Rich, or even in the Silver Method. So just for those who are new, just quickly, the top half, let's imagine that that top circle is your mind, and it's much bigger than the body because it controls all the body's actions. But let's imagine the top half of the mind is your thinking mind or your conscious mind. Well, it says in the green box there, your thinking mind can accept or reject any idea. So you can choose if you want to accept it or reject it. And it can originate ideas like I'm abundant or a yellow banana or I wish to be healthier. You can originate thought. It also has 6 intellectual faculties. So you've got 6 faculties of your mind: imagination, intuition, reason, willpower, memory, and perception. You've been gifted with these faculties. Now, just because we're gifted with them doesn't mean everybody uses them. Trust me, if I tell you this statistic, you might think I'm exaggerating, but I'll tell you this. Can anybody guess in the chat box what percentage of people use their mental faculties? All of them, with intention. What percentage of people use, with intention, their mental faculties out of 100%? 5, 1, 2. Thank you. You're right on. 2%. You're very close. Isn't it unbelievable? 2% of people use their mental faculties. 98% of people do not think for themselves. Thank you. Well done. Your statistics are really good and very close. So here we have the conscious mind where we can have all thoughts. But of course, our thoughts are what? They are continuously influenced by our 5 senses: taste, touch, smell, see, or hear. These are like antennas on our head, and everything. Let's just go to the one of see. Whatever we see or hear is influencing our thoughts. See, poor bank balance. I'm poor. You're thinking poor. Thinking poor means you're going to then impress the thoughts of lack and limitation, because you'll feel lack and limitation. The minute you feel it, if there's an arrow down here, you'll put an arrow down into the subconscious mind and make an impression. So that's the emotional mind. It works in feelings. It must accept all information impressed on it. It has no ability to reject. So everything you're feeling, whether true or false, whether fake, created, or done by luck, chance, or with intention, will program your subconscious mind. Can you screenshot Donna? Can maybe have a copy of that. You can have a copy of this. This will be on YouTube tomorrow, and you can certainly have a copy of that. Go ahead, screenshot all you want. I would only be happy for you to share such things. And of course, when it says controls vibration of the body, the subconscious mind, being the feeling mind, feelings are an expression of the vibration you're in. So happy, high vibration; unhappy, low vibration. Whatever vibration you're in, you become a magnet to similar like experiences in your life, you'll become a vibrational match to everything that's going on. So it controls the vibration that your body is in. And let me just get a little arrow come up here. Right. Your body only moves as a result of the subconscious programming, or I'd say 96%. 96% of all your behaviors and all your actions are driven by your subconscious. So that previous quote, man is anxious to improve his circumstances, but unwilling to improve himself, he therefore remains bound, is because man is in a comfort zone. His behaviors do not change, even though his thoughts in the conscious mind say, I want better. His behaviors stay the same. His behaviors stay the same. Why? Because your behaviors are not driven by your conscious mind. They're driven by your subconscious mind. And your actions create your results. So results, it says here, the body doing part of our personality. Vibration of the body is decided by thoughts held in the subconscious mind. It controls the action behavior part of the personality. So this is why it's so important for us to understand, if you want to change your results, you can't read a book like this and change your results just like that, because this is knowledge, and knowledge is in the conscious part of the mind, the top half. For you to actually change your life and change your results and get improvement, you need to change the subconscious part of your mind. And what you need to change is beliefs. Your beliefs govern your living experience, and we can change beliefs. Put in the chat box, how do we change a belief or create a new belief? Silver grads, you'll know the answer. How do we create a new belief? Any technique, any way? What's the best way to create a new belief? While I wait for your answers, I'm going to sip the tea. Anyone? Mirror of the mind. Michelle, high five. Affirmations, Ben, high five. So Michelle's right. Mirror of the mind is a visualizing technique that we use in the Silver method. You can use visualization without doing the Silver method. You just close your eyes and visualize the outcome that you want with repetition and with emotion. E-motion. Emotion is what will make the impression in the feeling mind, the subconscious mind. And the more you do that, you will create the life that you want. You will create a new belief and you'll create what it is that you want. Okay, your mind is a garden. I love this. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So there's a lot of metaphorical writing or analogies in As a Man Thinketh about the mind being a garden and weeds and seeds and flowers and all of that. And it really, really is just like a garden. Now, what I mean by that is, even if you manicured a garden, so let's say you did a course or program and you're all on top of it, and for a whole month or two, you've really been working on your mind and your life has improved. Then we become lazy and we go back into our old habits and we don't govern the mind anymore. We don't manage the secret thoughts that we're harboring inside. We don't watch, control, and alter our thoughts. It's just like a garden. You take an absolutely manicured garden with perfect flower beds and, just perfect, and walk away and leave it for a month or two. What does it look like? It's completely overgrown. Things are growing all in between the flower beds and it's a mess. And if you left it for 2 to 3 to 6 months, a year, it's just one big mess. And the mind is exactly the same. It needs constant attendance. And this is really a very important metaphor for us just to remember. Every day, practice something that helps you practice the practice of managing your mind. So I've said the word practice enough in that sentence. So here it says, man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. So that's an option. But when he realizes that he is a creative power and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being, out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. Now, it's interesting the choice of words James Allen uses, because he could say we are a creative being, but he says we are a creative power. And I really do like that, because it's true. Those mental faculties that we said we don't all use is exactly what makes a person the rightful master of himself. It's that using your imagination is the first one. If you cannot imagine yourself healthier and practice visualizing yourself healthier with discipline, like a planner on the levels of character, and practicing that visualization every day, if you can't imagine it, you actually cannot create it in the body. The same as money. If you can't imagine yourself with more money, how you're using it, how you're enjoying it, how you're spending it, how life is different, there's no way you can actually create it. So imagination is one of those mental faculties, which is one of the most important ones, and intuition being the other important one, because the more you visualize and use your imagination, the more intuitive ideas will drop into your head as to how you can create it. All right, so let's quickly sum up here. You cannot hide or run from your secret thoughts. Absolutely. Number 2, your thoughts are not accidental. Your thoughts are not by fate. Think what you want to think, regardless of appearances. We have that ability. Whether we use it or not is another story, but we have that ability. You attract, sorry, there's a word missing there. You attract that which you are, not what you want. So if you want great, you got to be great. If you want abundance, you have to be abundant. And that's why tithing is a principle I absolutely love. Tithing gives you the feeling that you have more than enough and you're giving away, and that changes your state and your vibration. Immediately you start to attract more. And as for the 7 levels of character, just a reminder that character is everything. All your thoughts, all your beliefs, all your values, your attitudes, your opinions, your feelings, your ideas, your perceptions, your morals, your ethics, everything combined is your character. And every one of those words on the screen, we have control over. Man is made or unmade by himself? Absolutely. Why it's so hard to change a belief? Because a belief is not in our conscious awareness, it's in our subconscious mind. We don't have awareness of what's in there, but we sure can know what's in there by how's life treating you? How are your conditions? And how are we feeling? If you're not feeling good every day, or you're not happy, or whatever it may be, that's an indication as well. Beliefs drive our behavior. The end. That's true. When we want to change behavior, we need to find value in doing things differently. And the best way to do that is to create a new belief, visualizing a scene or an outcome that has value for you, something that really is valuable for you, that you really, really want. And last but not least, we do need to take 100% responsibility for our life. And when we do, you actually find life becomes easier and we create more of what we want and easier. Now, there was something I wanted to share, and I don't know where I wrote it. Let me just see if I have it here. Yep, just a question quickly for you. I just want you to quickly write just the area of your life. Put in the chat box if you like, or write it on a piece of paper if you have it. Otherwise, do put in the chat. It's nice just that people can share. Just name an area of your life, something that you want but do not yet have. Anything, something that you want, could be relationship, finances, health, peace of mind, recreation, whatever it may. Something that you want but do not yet have. And then I'd say to you, just identify 3 beliefs that you currently hold. So someone's written autonomy, house, finances, okay? Identify 3 beliefs that you currently hold about that subject. So in other words, that are a result of the thoughts you've been holding on to, or thoughts that you've internalized. And you'll realize on any subject where you want a different outcome, you hold a belief somewhere in there. So that helps you understand for yourself what's holding you back. Because people say, I don't know what's holding me back. Well, just say, What area of your life do you want an outcome and don't already have it? Something that you want but don't already have? And what belief do you hold about that thing? Maybe even if it's just one belief, it doesn't even have to be three, just one. That will help you. And then you know, okay, that's my belief. So for me, 11 years ago, when I was really struggling, the one thing I remember catching myself saying, I was really unhappy, and I found myself saying, I hate my job. And I was still in corporate back then. And when I realized that I had this belief, I hate my job, how on earth was I ever going to create better with a belief like that? And I had to own that. I had to take responsibility for that belief was mine. I created it. And yes, if someone else who had a more of a victim mentality was standing in my shoes, they might say, well, it is difficult and this is wrong and that has been the situation and giving you all these reasons as to why. But no, if I wanted to change, like I was anxious to change my circumstances, unwilling to change myself, I'd remain bound. So what did I have to do? I had to own that belief and say, if I want different, I have to change that belief. I have to create a belief that says, I absolutely love my job. Now, how do you go from that to that? It's like, geez, going from 0 to 100, just, it's not easy to do overnight, but it is possible. And I did it. I had an affirmation. I absolutely love my job. I repeated it. I'm not kidding, guys. More than 1,000 times in the morning before I got to the office, on the train, in the tram. I just closed my eyes and repeated over and over. I would force that thought and belief into my mind. I'd force it and force it and force it with repetition and emotion, visualizing, even if it was another job that I had in South Africa where I did love my job initially before I programmed the job that I was in. But you know what? I did create a new belief. And 5 months later, my situation was completely turned around. I was on top of my game. Everything came right. And I could honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I did love my job then. I did love it. But nothing in my world or circumstances had changed. I changed. And it wasn't easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is possible. And you've got to just work at it. When Donna says, don't know which kind I want, where I want it, where I want to work. If that's about work, I was like that too. If you don't know what you actually want to do, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, Vandana. Maybe you can just write yes or no there. If it's about work, I don't know where I want to work. That was me. So I just started to do a couple of things. I think you've got my book, Vandana. I wrote the whole story in there, how I came to find what it is that I want, the house I want. Okay. You can get there. You just have to take the steps and start off being grateful and happy somehow where you are. First, we have to accept where we are with gratitude before we can ever create something new. I just want to say that again. We must accept with gratitude where you currently are before you can ever create better. Because if you hate where you are, if you hate your sick body, you cannot create better health. If you hate being poor or not having enough money, you cannot create abundance. It's just an opposing energy. It's never going to happen. In the law of attraction, it cannot happen. So you got to first accept where you are and have it with appreciation and gratitude. So find anything you can to be grateful and appreciative of where you are and accept your situation. And then we can move into creating better and new. All right. So did you enjoy that tonight? That was the lesson. Did you have fun? Great book, James Allen, great author, and really poetic style of writing, very powerful. So on a last little theme here, this by Buddha, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, and what you imagine you create. It's like the Bible. It is from the Bible, Jackie. It's as a man thinketh in his heart, so is in Proverbs. So it's absolutely from the Bible. You are 100% correct. So thank you for all the thank yous. Just to tell you some upcoming events, what we have. The Silver Method, we have a 4-day immersion on the 13th of 16th to May. We still have seats available if anybody wants to join. We don't have any more seats as a waiting list for graduates. I will be able to slot 1 or 2 of them in, so just let me know if you'd like to attend as a graduate. Thank you, Michelle. I have a property investing free property webinar. If anyone's interested or wants to know about the property market on the 24th of May, you can find it on Eventbrite. It is free, and if you're confused and you're looking to invest, this is the research I'll be sharing there, or friends or family, if you know who might be interested, let them know. And then we're going to do a meditation now. So just stay with us. And As a Man Thinketh Masterclass is a 6-week masterclass. I'm going to run this differently this time to a mastermind. I'm going to run it as a teaching over 6 weeks in a different style of format. So if you're interested in that, that's coming up at the end of June. There's an early bird price of $3.99, and the early bird ends at the 28th of May. So you've got a month still to buy the early bird. But however, if you're thinking that you might want to do it, this is one of the best books, I must tell you, I've ever studied in my life. And I haven't read it. I've studied it. And I've studied it multiple times over and over. Thank you, Donna. If you're interested in that, I just want to share something. Here are a couple of testimonials from As a Man Thinketh. Greg just said, this renewed sense of knowing that whatever I think manifests, and repeating and studying it over and over really does change awareness and helps you to have what he said, a deeper conviction that I'm always fully in control of my choices, decisions, and so on. And Alejandra said she learned the distinction between goals and vision. There's a whole chapter in here called Vision and Ideals, and it's a beautiful chapter, and it changes the understanding of what a vision really is and how important it is. And then just this last thing that's so important, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. So the unconscious, meaning we just think, these things are just happening and we're not aware of our thoughts. They're just unconscious patterns of repetitive thought. If we don't raise this, like through As a Man Thinketh, for example, studying the book, it will rule your life. You'll call it fate because you won't realize that it's actually ourselves that are creating it. So victories attained by right thought can only be maintained by watchfulness. And this was me. Many give way when success is assured and rapidly fall back into failure. That was me. When my life started to come right, I stopped practicing techniques, stopped practicing positive thinking and watching my thoughts, and it went all the way back. And I had to then bring myself back, go through all the struggle again and raise myself up again. That's why staying on top of it with maintenance is what you really need. Just by the way, for the Meaningful Monday people tonight, if you do book in for As a Man Thinketh, which starts at the end of June, I will also give you 2 lessons that I've shared with some people in a program I run called Empowerment Mentoring. It's 12 lessons. I'll be giving 2 of them away. One is the terror barrier, and the other one is purpose, vision, and goals, just to understand how to create them and what the difference is between purpose and vision and goals. And these are like 1-hour lessons, which I'll just give away. And then if anyone here would like to watch a YouTube video, I'll send it to you afterwards if you like. Just put a yes in the chat box if you want it. This YouTube video is actually the bonus video of the first week of the As a Man Thinketh Mastermind, and it just helps a person understand why we don't get the results that we want when we want them so badly. And it's a teaching lesson on the stick man. Yes, please, Serena. Okay. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. I'll send it out, or I can actually just hold on. It's in the chat box if anybody wants to take it off there. Otherwise, I'll email it to you. I've got your email addresses. You can watch that bonus video, and then you can also watch it after tonight if you want, and see if you want to join the mastermind. All right. To book it on my website. So let's do a quick meditation now. We're just going to reset our intentions for the month ahead. So just grab a pen and paper, make yourself comfortable, make a pen and paper, because once I've guided you through a fractional relax and a waterfall of light as an image, you're going to then I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and then just from your intuition, whatever answers come up for you, just write them down, and you will be able to really get some wisdom for yourself that only you can come up with such wisdom. It could never be. Thank you, Beth, for your email address. I will include you as well. Thank you. So please, when I ask you the questions at the end, if you're new to this process, do not analyze anything. Just write down your first impressions, and you can think about them later when we're done. Just trust the answers as they come up. Thank you, Elaine. I've got your email address. Thank you. All right, so get a pen and paper and sit in the most comfortable position. In other words, if this is me here with a pen and paper, just in a way that you hardly move, you can just write whilst you're in a state of meditation, just to stay as much as possible in a deep level of mind. Thanks, Susanna. All right, I'll send everybody that bonus video. All right, I just want to mute the microphones. Mute all. Okay, you can unmute yourselves if you need, but just to make it quiet. I'm going to play some music. So just make yourself comfortable. And just relax and just let go and just follow the instructions and enjoy this. You've got nothing else to do for the next 10-15 minutes. Just really, really enjoy this moment to relax and let go. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. And as you exhale, allow the tensions in your body just to release and float away. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, begin to feel your body relaxing. Feel the tension leaving your scalp. From the top of your head, just relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your cheeks and your whole face. Relax your tongue and jaw. And take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax your neck and your back all the way down your spine. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax your chest. And to relax our abdomen, let's take a nice deep breath in into your abdomen, and as you exhale, relax your abdomen. Relax your hips and pelvic area. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet all the way down to your toes. You are now experiencing a deep state of relaxation. It's a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. Now you're going to create in your mind an ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined, somewhere you've been or somewhere that you'd like to go. And allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed. Begin to experience this place right now. Now that you've created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light into the scene. Place it wherever you choose. This waterfall of white light is gentle, allowing you to stand under the cascading white light. This light is a healing energy, a clearing energy. Your waterfall of white light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under this white healing light. Allow the white light to swirl around you, encompassing you within its glow. It is clearing all the stress, tension, and clutter away. Not just the stress and tension and clutter of the last day, week, month, or even the last year, but of your entire lifetime. Feel it clearing your energy field or your aura. Your entire atmosphere is cleansed and healed from this white healing light. As the light clears your energy, notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face. See how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. Notice how your energy field is expanding out as you are radiating love. This waterfall of light is always available to you whenever you need it. All you need to do is close your eyes, imagine your ideal place of relaxation, and immerse yourself in this healing white light. Now take a deep breath, relax and go deeper, and repeat these beneficial statements to yourself mentally. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts bring me benefits I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. The following statements are for your better health. Keep in mind that from now on, I will occasionally be speaking in your place. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every cell, tissue, organ, and system of my body is revitalized, restored, and renewed, resulting in a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. I'm able to function in harmony, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to promote maximum benefits. My awareness in using my mind allows me to do activities that promote increased health physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now imagine the white light turns to green. You are now immersed in a glowing green light. This green light is unconditional love. It surrounds you. It encompasses you. It flows through your entire being. It fills you with love. All those hurts you felt, all those pains you felt, the angry moments, allow this green light, this unconditional love, to heal all those spaces now. You are an amazing human being. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve abundance. And you deserve peace. It is now time to step out of the waterfall. Step out of the waterfall of light. Your energy field is now clean and clear. You are centered. You have clarity. You're able to focus your mind easily. You feel like you're in the flow of universal love and energy. Take a moment now just to bask in this feeling of connectedness. Feel yourself one with this entire universe. We are energy, and everything in this universe is energy, and everything is connected. Feel that feeling of connectedness. One with source energy. You have now reset your body and mind for the month. It is now time to set your intention for the month ahead. You're going to tune in now to your higher wisdom. You're going to tune into your higher self, or that part of you that when you tuned in, guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. When we reach the count of 1, you will have tuned in to your own inner wisdom, your own intuition or higher self. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are now tuned into your own inner wisdom, your intuition, that part of you that guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. Just feel the alignment with your higher self. Know that you're connected. And now I want you to ask yourself the following questions, and whatever is your first impression, just open your eyes and write it down, or write with your eyes closed if you can. And once you've finished writing, just close your eyes and re-enter the meditation. The first question: what do I need to focus on for the month ahead? What do I need to focus on for the month ahead? Whatever comes to mind, write it down and then take a deep breath close your eyes, and re-enter your calm meditative state. The next question. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? And then take a deep breath, close your eyes, and re-enter your meditation. The next question. What do I need to let go of? Write down your first impressions. What do I need to let go of? And then the last question, is there anything else? Anything else I need to know or do? Just, is there anything else? Just write down whatever comes to mind. And then just take a nice deep breath. Put one hand on your heart if you wish. And just express gratitude and appreciation just for the wisdom that you can always connect to, your own inner wisdom and source energy. And slowly bring your attention back to your body. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. Cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, at the count of 5, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Thank you so much, everybody, and welcome back. Did you enjoy that meditation? Short and sweet. Great. Thumbs up to you too, Carly. Thank you. Carly's my barometer. Thank you, Donna, for the heart. And thank you for the, thanks, Janine. I have to drop off. Okay, cheers, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, everybody. If anybody wants to share or ask anything, please feel free to do so. I will otherwise send you all that link to that bonus video of As a Man Thinketh if you want to consider doing the mastermind You will get an understanding of, we have a bonus video for every chapter, and it's from another body of knowledge, not from the actual book. That's one thing I want to say. And then otherwise, the answers that you got from this meditation, I want you to just to trust what came up for you. Don't question it, just trust it. Your intuition will always guide you right. And you can always use this for those people who are new on this webinar tonight. You can use this process anytime. Tap into your own inner wisdom. It's always there to guide you. Just have to relax, close your eyes, and ask a question from your heart space, and intuitively something will pop in your head. All right, so thank you so much. Anybody want to share anything? Just unmute your mic, speak to me. I'll be here until the end. If anybody does want to ask. I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourselves. I did try. Thank you, Shail. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Jen. I really enjoyed. Thank you very, very much. I love this meditation.
Thank you, Jolanta. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.